So this story actually starts about 2 years ago. I was traveling through Oman with a group of friends. We found this market that sells full suits of medieval armor. It's not every day that you find a full suit of medieval armor, let alone an entire market of medieval armor. So I went home from that trip. I couldn't stop thinking about it. So I texted my friend Josiah, what if we made a film in Oman with a full suit of armor from this market? So Josiah sends me the first draft of the script, and I'm immediately reminded of Monty Python. I mean, it's hard not to be when you're making a medieval comedy film.
When Emmett first pitched me this idea, he just called me and was like, I have this idea. You're going to be in it. We're going to Oman. And I was like, okay, sure. And we had done stuff in the past where it was like spur of the moment, like shot in the backyard, super stupid, super easy, very quick. But this one was like a different scale. And I didn't realize what I was getting myself into when I said yes. He told me I was doing it, so I was doing it.
When he approached me with it, I was like, okay, you're ridiculous. Like, where are you gonna get a suit of armor? What are you gonna do with a suit of armor? Like, none of this makes sense. But obviously, given Emmett's backstory and everything that he's done in the past, I think, every idea usually comes to fruition.
I didn't know if it was even gonna work.
On the first day that we got there, we had a sourcing day. We walk in there and immediately, everything looks like it's from the time period that we are filming in. There's a lot of cool bronze pieces. We come across this one store and there's this perfect suit of armor, like an entire suit of armor, just standing upright. And we all immediately were like, this is it. This is the Desert Knight.
This whole project would not have been possible without our friend Afra. She lives in Oman, and she was able to actually go to the market before we got there, figure out the price of the armor, figure out if the armor was actually even still there when we got there. There's also this museum in Oman that Afra helped us get in contact with, and we got to go in there and basically just pick anything out of the museum to use as props in our film. It's like the coolest way to find props.
One of the things I like about Emmett is that whenever there's a project or we're shooting, it's never just, let's get the shot and let's go. It's let's go and experience where we're at. Let's talk to the locals. Let's do all sorts of fun stuff. And so anytime he pitches me a project, I'm always in. And this certain time, we had Afra and she brought us into their family home and they served us an authentic meal. It was amazing. Then right after that, we went out into the middle of nowhere and shot some guns, which was also weird and we didn't know it was gonna happen, but it was so fun. It just made the experience so much better than just going there to shoot a film and then leaving and not actually experiencing the country at all.
Woo! Holy shit. Bang.
So we buy the armor, we load it into the car, and we head into the desert.
Can I talk about how bad of actors we are? We have everything ready. We have the scene set up. We're in costume. We're sweating. It feels authentic. We're there. We're ready to go. And the second they say action is when Emmett and I are like, oh shit, we don't know how to act. Conor had to tell us multiple times, like, stop trying to act, to just be yourself. Like, it's coming off weird. And we'd watch it back and be like, that's not good. We had made the stew for the campfire scene. And Emmett's like, just take a sip of it and then have an actual reaction to it. And I was like, okay, well, it's just mushrooms. It wasn't just mushrooms. It was disgusting. It was really hard not to like actually gag on film. And then Emmett, I saw, ate one of the mushrooms and no, it was gross and it felt real. It felt real to both of us.
The visuals and the locations really are one of the strong suits along with the story that help bring the film to life.
My friend Oliver and I actually, he's a script writer, we came up with this theme of going into the unknown and facing your fears and discovering that your fears aren't as scary as they seem. These characters are going into the unknown. They're up against this terrifying desert knight that they've heard all these myths and legends about. And then they finally face the desert knight and it turns out he's basically just a joke. His arms fall off, he's asking for water, rolling around in the sand because he has dust in his eyes. And then the other part of that is you kind of get a soft spot for that desert knight because our two main characters kind of become the bad guys and they pull all his limbs off, steal his treasure, and leave him alone in the sand. And he's just trying to be a nice guy and kind of be friends with them.
Upon reading the script, one of the first things that I thought would be a challenge would be having the arms fall off of the knight, because obviously we're not working with a special effects team. We hadn't even seen the actual armor, so we didn't know what we were working with. What we ended up doing, we created these like fake arm nubs. We glued those onto Josiah's shoulders, and then we had him hold fishing line. So we tied fishing line onto the arms and had him hold the arms. And then when he gets hit, he just releases the fishing line. Against all odds, something like that comes together, and then you see it on the screen, and you're just laughing to yourself because it's such a simple thing, but it ended up working really well.
That is so unfortunate.
There's one shot in the film, it's when the sun's coming up and Em and I are walking across. We look very calm walking across there, but getting to that point was so chaotic. He woke me up at like 4 a.m. He's like, hey, we have to be up on this mountain in 20 minutes, and it's like a mile hike up to that point. I'm like, there's no way I'm making it. Emmett is running and I'm running. I'm like, I'm gonna die. But we get up there and we're doing the shot, and Emmett's on the phone with Zach, who's like 3 miles away shooting this thing, and telling me, like, okay, run back here. And I'm just running, I'm sweating. I don't know what's happening, but it turned out amazing. I saw the shot and I was like, of course we had to get that one in there. Except for that one time when he's like, go!
Being out in the middle of the desert on a 35-degree day, carrying big Ari, Josiah's wearing the suit of armor.
We're in full sun exposure trying to plan these shots. We're quickly discovering how hot this is going to be.
And there were moments where I would be in the sun with my hat on and my shorts and my tank top, and I was like, I don't know if I can keep doing this. And then I would look over at Josiah in a full suit of armor. He's got probably like 3 layers on underneath that armor. You can tell Josiah is struggling when he's not smiling and laughing. So any moment that I saw him just like sitting in the sun, like, I knew he was almost at his breaking point.
One of the biggest challenges shooting in the desert is keeping track of footprints. So we had to get all our wide shots first, where the sand is completely untouched. And then we had to slowly move in as we got more and more footprints on the sand.
So every shot was really carefully crafted to make sure that we didn't have any tracks in it.
The worst scene for Josiah while he's in that suit of armor is when the knight rises up out of the sand and it's all dramatic.
The reality is, right before that shot, Josiah would lay down. All of us would run over there and pour buckets and buckets and buckets of sand on him. Then he'd rise up, and we did it probably like 10 times. I get a grain of sand in my eye and I'm done for the day, but Josiah had buckets of sand in his mouth and his eyes, and just, he's a trooper.
Action!
On this project was one of the times I've seen everything go as good as it possibly could have.
It was chaos, but in the best possible way.
When you write a script and you envision this project for a year in advance, and then suddenly you're in Oman with a group of your best friends shooting it, and it's becoming a reality, and it looks better than you could have ever imagined. That's the single reason I keep doing this kind of stuff.
Oh man. You know, could be worse. My dick could have got chopped off. Fuck! All right.